We're on. Ani, bonsoir, good evening, and welcome to our regular council meeting. Tonight, I will turn over the chair to Deputy Mayor Berenice, to you.
Thank you, Mayor Pajot. So we're going to start off with the Indigenous land acknowledgement. I would like to begin the meeting by acknowledging that we are in the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe peoples in the Robinson-Huron Treaty area and wish to recognize the neighboring community of Doki's First Nation. While we meet today, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, First Nation people that call this land home. With this, I need a mover and a seconder for the adoption of the agenda. Councillor Dave and Councillor Will.
Be it resolved that the agenda be adopted as presented.
All those in favor? Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Delegations 5.1. We have the community visioning plan, the economic master plan presentation, and we have Steve with us on Zoom, and he will present the draft visioning plan and the economic master plan, I believe.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. I've been told that brevity is a virtue, so I want to be virtuous tonight and be brief. I wasn't going to go through both of these plans in detail since we did that relatively recently, but I wanted to bring to your attention some things which we may not have discussed before, or we may have discussed, but I want to emphasize. So Carly, do you mind starting the PowerPoint presentation?
Oh, I turned share screen on for you, Steve,
Oh.
if you wanted to.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. Let me know.
Can you see it?
Yes.
You may recall that at our planning session in July, we talked about Dr. Martin. And just as a reminder, he was the dean of the Rotman School of Business at the University of Toronto for many years. And then he was promoted to the executive director of the Prosperity Institute, also at the University of Toronto. And one of their major clients was the province of Ontario. He's written a number of best-selling books on strategic planning. And one of the things that he says is that making strategy choices is never easy because it means doing some things at the expense of others. One of the things we often hear from clients is that their previous strategic plan sat on a shelf and was never used. And they want to make sure that their new plan is something that will be useful and will be used. One of the best ways to test that is to ask your staff, because they're the ones who are going to be responsible for carrying out all the work that needs to be done to execute it. And the good news is that your staff have been involved all the way through in the development of the two documents that you have. And so they believe they're achievable. Now, the hard part is actually achieving everything. One of the things we always recommend to clients is when you're looking at particularly your strategic plan or your visioning plan, look at it from 4 perspectives. And when you read it, think about how would I react to this if I was a resident? Or how would I react to it if I was staff? And do I see in here elements that are going to lead to internal process improvements? And do I see in here things that are going to lead to sustainability, both financially and environmentally? Now, this is taken from the old balanced scorecard approach, but it works for strategic planning and economic development planning as well. And we think that the documents you have actually do meet very well with these 4 perspectives. There should be something in there that when people read it, it's going to resonate with them. It's going to be of interest to them. One thing that we really wanted to emphasize is in the visioning plan, there is an acknowledgement to thank the over 400 residents, business owners, and other stakeholders who participated in the development of these documents. That is a very high number for a municipality the size of French River. We have clients that have several times your population and they would get a fraction of that engagement. And that is, I was going to say it's a gift. It's probably more than a gift. You've probably done something to cause this level of engagement, but it's something that you should value and want to make sure that you maintain it. Some of the things that you need to do to maintain that level of engagement is you acknowledge the time that people spent to contribute. You let them know what was heard. You let them know what you're doing about it. And so particularly in the economic development master plans, they include sections for each sector of what was heard, what was told to us in the surveys, the themes that came out of this, and the action items that council and also staff are putting in place to fulfill the wishes of the residents and business owners who took the time to participate. It's also important to emphasize that these two plans are not the end of the process. If I can paraphrase Winston Churchill, they're the end of the beginning. You have the plans in place and carrying them out, we explain how it's going to be done. Every year you have a budget. Now, as part of those budgets, there'll be operational plans that your staff will bring forward for council to review and to approve. And those operational plans will then form the basis of reports to council. It depends on what the issues are as to how often the reporting will happen, but it will be at least once a year. And those are reports that we assume will also be made available to the public so that they can see the progress that's being made and how you are coming to complete the objectives that you laid out. So as I said, I would be virtuous and be brief, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have any questions for Steve? Being none, we have a resolution to adopt the plan, the visioning plan from 2024 to 2028 and the economic development plan. But before that, I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Roger and Councillor Dave.
Be it resolved that council adopts the French River Community Visioning Plan 2024-2028 and the Economic Development Master Plans of 2024-2028.
All in favor? Okay. Thank you, Steve, for working on this with with the staff. It's very well done. We appreciate having you do that. So we'll continue on for reports and items. Reports and items for consideration. 6.1, general government. 6.1.1, we have a resolution endorsing a letter of support partnership agreement. Applied research project with Collège Boréal. We have a support letter, agricultural project proposal. And I need a mover and a seconder, and then Giselle will speak to it.
Yeah.
So if I could get a mover and a seconder. Councillor Bob, Councillor Will. Okay.
Well, this is a very interesting plan. Collège Boréal contacted us to see if French River would be a partner with them in a study that they're trying to do, and it's to deploy a precision GPS sort of a machine that's based on agricultural study fertilizer. So basically what they're trying to do is figure a way to use less fertilizer but yield more crops. And since they looked at our topography and they felt that our topography was would fit in with their research, they asked to meet with us. We met with Sebastien, myself, and Mark, and their deadlines were really quick because the granting board that they're looking at is through NSERC. And NSERC is a very prestigious granting agencies for post-secondary. And if they are successful at getting it, it would be something very big for them. And of course, part of our strategic plan, now that it's approved, talks about supporting our agricultural community. So the only thing that they've asked of us so far is a letter of support, but also to see if they could use some of the lands that the municipality owns. And of course, we have lots of land for this type of purpose. And the study is for 3 years. And so I'm really hoping that they are successful. If they are, part of what's going to happen is that our environmental footprint will be reduced because we'll be using less fertilizer. And economically for our agricultural people, businesses, it should yield more monies for them. So I think it's a win-win, fits in well, as we're supposed to do now, with our strategic plan, and certainly support this endeavor for them.
Anybody have any questions? Counselor Dean?
I notice in the almost last paragraph, it says the municipality undertakes to provide in-kind contributions for the duration of the project with an access to land support for the advancement of research activities. And I'm just wondering whether or not that is going to entail or need financing of any kind.
Go ahead.
No, we have not committed any financing whatsoever. We're lending them our
Land?
the land. We're not charging them for the land. So so that's our in-kind contribution.
Okay,
If they want money, well, the NSERC grant should take care of that, I hope. But that's a bridge we're not even close to right now. Right now, it's just the land.
I have one other question. Will they work with some of the farmers in the area?
Oh, I'm not quite sure, right, Sebastian? The idea is to do that.
Through you, Madam Chair, Madam Mayor. Yes, during the meeting, they did say that they've already entered into some partnerships with local farmers to participate as well.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And the other in-kind contribution, if they need meeting space or to make announcements, we offered up some of our facilities to be able to do that.
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah.
I think it's a good project. Hope it works out for them.
Yeah.
So we have a resolution. Mark, do you want to read it?
Okay. May I get a mover and a seconder? please?
We already did.
Oh, sorry, I missed
Before
it.
Giselle talked.
Apologies.
No, that's all right.
Be it resolved that the council approves the letter of support for Collège Boreal's application to the Applied Research Project submission with the Natural Science and Engineering Research Council.
All those in favor? Okay, so 6.2 finances, we have the quarterly report. And I believe we have Mark Fleury online and he will speak to it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the activities, we started our budget process in for 2024 with staff meetings in November and December. We also had a council meeting in December for direction for the budget. We're also working with our consultants for the setup of our new asset management program. So this is advancing well. We're looking at being operational with the software within a month or two. So this is good news. It's a big process. And also we started tax sale proceedings on 2 properties and we registered a tax arrear certificate. So they have 1 year to pay the balance of the taxes and penalties. If not, it's going to be a public tender in a year or so for the 2 properties. For the budget reports, there was 2 budgets: operating budget for the for the 12-month period ending December 30th, 2023, and also the capital budget. You have to keep in mind it's unaudited numbers. We're still working for getting ready for the audit. So these are good numbers, but there's still accruals and all that has to be finalized for the audit. So for revenues, we have achieved or we surpassed our budget for user fees by $103,000. Bylaw 35,000, environmental services 20,000, and recreation services 18,000. Also with taxation, we issued $70,000 of supplemental taxation, which is in line with last year. And it's because we're a growing municipality, so it's good news. And for capital grants, we had a budget for $375,000 for the addition to the arena. We did not receive the grant yet. Funding is supposed to be announced in the next few months in 2024. So that's $375,000 that we did not receive in 2023. Also, we submitted claims for the Alban Community Center through the ICIP grant for $553,000. Also, we received the gas tax and the OCIF and NORS funding for Monte-Guérin culvert. That's going to be deferred to 2025. For expenses, salaries are pretty much in line with budget. For operating expenses, transportation budget, there was increase in vehicle and equipment breakdowns, which had an impact on the budget. And these increases were partially offset by the environmental and recreation budgets, which did not achieve. They were below budget for operating expenses, so which is good news. So globally, we're above budget by $97,000 or 102% of budget. For capital budget, again, there's many capital projects that are deferred to next year. They were not completed or they're in the process of being completed next year. So if you have any questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Mark? Seeing none. We're good, Mark. Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. So we'll continue on to 6.3, Public Works and Environmental Services is nil. 6.4, Recreation and Community Services. There's nothing to report. 6.5, Emergency and Protection Services is nil. I know that they had their water rescue training yesterday. That must, it was a little chilly yesterday. Yeah. 6.6, Building and Planning Development, no. 7, Correspondence, we haven't received anything.
Nope.
8, we have the consent agenda, so I need a mover and a seconder. Counselor Well and Counselor Bob. And Mark, we have a resolution.
Be it resolved that council approves the items of the consent agenda under section 8.1.
All those in favor? Okay, 9, there's no items that were separated. 10, notices of motion, we don't have any.
None.
11, announcements and inquiries. So we'll start with Mayor Pajot.
Thank you. I usually go last, so this is fun going first. The first thing I want to do is with regards to the strategic planning, I want to say a special thank you to Carly and Sebastian. I know it's been a lot of work over the last year putting it together and working with the consultants. I believe that the strategic plan that was put forward and the economic development documents are both things that are achievable within the timeline. And as I said on Friday, we already met one goal and we're on to meeting many other goals. So I especially want to thank you for that. And then, of course, I want to talk about Friday. Friday was, as far as I'm concerned, extremely successful. And again, special thank you to the staff. Carly, I mean, worked hard, and I know Sebastian, you worked on the stuff, and all the staff that put the day together, and especially you, Mark, putting this project forward has been monumentous. If I can't describe it even more than that, but to see that many people in this council chamber, which I thought was pretty big until we filled it, then I realized it shows how much interest there is for such a project, and the community has been buzzing to no end since then. And I'm still getting calls and emails saying what a great thing. Got a call today from the a child from one of the seniors saying, when is it going to be ready? So I figure, so I told them to call the municipality, get themselves on the list for information, and that unfortunately applications, we're not taking applications yet, but anyway, the media coverage was excellent. We did an interview today with Radio Canada because they were supposed to come on Friday, something happened. But anyway, brought Linda Nadon from the seniors in Wellville so that she could do her thing too. So, so the publicity is ongoing. But again, thank you to everyone and to council for approving such a great project. And I think it's far, long time coming. And to the visionaries like Claude and Claude, who tried to make it happen. Maybe the timing back then was just not quite right. And now it's going to happen, and looking forward to it. So that is my announcement for the day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary Peschel. Dave?
Thank you. I don't really have much to say apart from we had another successful family tournament this weekend. It was very nice to see. Thanks to everybody who had a part in organizing it. And I know Jason was very busy that weekend too. Thank you, Jason. Apart from that, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Councillor Dean?
I guess along with everyone else, I was really impressed with the turnout on Friday. It was, if nothing else, it illustrates very clearly how important this particular kind of enterprise is to the community and will be to the community. And if nothing else, it probably indicates that 30 units aren't going to be enough. Just by the interest that was shown. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Otherwise, I don't really have anything to, I will be attending along with Mark, a meeting in Sturgeon Falls early in March on the water level situation. But be glad to report more once the meeting is over. Right now, it's a kind of a strange looking winter. And I'm just going to make two kind of odd comments that I've noticed. One is we feed the birds at home, and for the first time ever, we have between 20 and 30 goldfinches all winter. They've been with us all winter. I've never seen them here in the middle of the winter before. I think that must be telling us something about the winter. And the other thing is, on the way to Sudbury this morning, I think most of you are aware, but the overpass that goes off the highway down to Astaire, there's always a crow's nest on that overpass. There was a crow in it today. Sitting in that thing today. I don't know whether she's got eggs in there already in the middle of, almost the middle of February. I mean, usually that would be the middle of March before you'd see that sort of thing. So I don't know what that indicates, but maybe these creatures know a hell of a lot more than we do about what kind of winter we're having and how it's going to end here. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Councillor Dean. Councillor Will?
I don't want to repeat what everyone said. I too was very impressed with Friday, and I'm really looking forward to the next chapter in having a place for our seniors to stay and continue on life in our community. It moved me greatly to see, and we were able to actually put the mechanisms in place and get that going. So I'm eager to see the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bob?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I brought a bucket of thank yous. At our arena, our curling season is over for this year. Thanks to our executive for a job well done. Our season went off without a hitch. And those people are Mike Demers, Marcel Pitt, Karen Finucane, and Michelle Lafortune. So thank you to the curling executive that ran this program all year. Also, we are having our banquet this Sunday at 4 at the Monetville Community Center. There's a silent auction. And there's a bar. All proceeds from the bar and the silent auction will be donated to the Canadian Cancer Society. And I just think that is great. My ad is off to these people. Another bunch of thank yous. As chair of the Environmental Services, I would like to thank everyone that took part in our survey. That took the time to fill out the survey. I mean, these people were interested and they came out. All 754 votes on this issue. And out of 2,318 households, that's 33%. And that is just amazing that they took this to heart and they took the time to vote. And thank you to everyone who voted and filled out the survey. Thanks to the Family Tournament Committee for a great weekend and a job well done. And that tournament, that committee is Bob Martin, President, Jason Cuff, Vice President, Julie Allen, Treasurer, Julie Hull, Gary Newton, Justin Pitt, and Kevin Dupree. These people volunteered their time, lots of time in organizing. They put countless hours on the weekend and just a job well done. One more thing, next weekend, Jason is not off because the Noelville Arena is hosting the under-11 minor hockey playoffs. So I'm not sure how many teams and how many games, but I'm sure the arena will be just buzzing. And I just want to echo your sentiments, Madam Mayor, of the seniors housing. People are talking in town and questioning and they're questioning with smiles on their faces. So it's very nice to see, and hopefully what Councillor Willie said, the next chapter is not too far away, and this is just great stuff. And I think I'm going fishing on the weekend, so all the best to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bob. Councillor Roger?
I'll basically repeating what councillors have said, but I believe it needs to be repeated for especially on the family tournament. I spent a fair amount of time there on the weekend and it was very well organized. It was a lot of fun. It was good hockey to be watched. So again, thank you everybody that was involved in organizing that. And again, I'll repeat myself again for Friday, the announcing of the seniors housing. It was a very special day for French River. It was very well organized. Thank you to the staff, even though I didn't get a little goodie box. No, it was great. And it was, like I said, it was a great day for Alvin and Monetville and Noelville and whoever is interested in moving into that housing complex. Thank you again.
All right, so for me, I guess there's not too much. Maybe just one comment. We keep calling it a seniors housing, but it's 55 and up. So 55 is not senior. So we're gonna have to find a new word.
It's seniors.
Shh, 55 is not a senior, it's still young. Well, maybe we can work on a different title or something.
Daycare?
Daycare, sure. No, I don't know. Just, I don't think 55 is old. It's not a senior.
Not
Right.
old, but it's a senior.
Now, with half the perks. But anyways, I think it is a great, it's a great start. It's exciting to see. A lot of people are asking where do they put their names. So I don't think we'll have issues filling it up.
They will have to give out the housing based on how old people are. In other words, start.
By age.
Start from the top and work backwards.
Oh, maybe that'll be a lot of, it'll be interesting. So. And then on another note, one thing, we can't forget, thank you to all the organizers of the family tournament, but also to all the volunteers, the young kids from the high school that volunteered and did the nets all weekend and cleaned up. And, all the parents from the minor hockey that did the bar and, the cooks in the kitchen upstairs and downstairs. I think they were very busy, so I think all around it was a good weekend, so thanks to everybody who had a part in that. And that's about it for me. I don't know if you guys have anything to say. Curly, yeah, the rink rats.
Yeah, I saw one.
Did our audience have anything to say? Report? You can talk. You can go up to the mic and talk to us. Yep, that's okay. So,
Not the people on Zoom.
oh,
We're expecting it to go.
Good. I was a little late coming to the meeting, so maybe you've already said it, but I don't know. The visioning that was done, I attended a couple of them here, and I'm just wondering, how much did that cost? Just, I don't know if you've told it or something like this, but I'm just,
No, not that one. It is in the neighborhood of, correct me if I'm wrong, Mac, you're on, I think it's 34.
It's
Third.
it's close to 40,000,
Yeah.
39,000 and change with
Okay.
tax, yeah.
okay, and I guess the family tournament again, thank you to all the people that congratulate everybody making it. It's really been, I think, 47 years, they said, in the French River, in the French River municipality. But it's something that really is nice to see, and even though there's lots of fights or things like this, but that's common in any sport that you're playing. And there was lots of people attending it, and I saw a lot of counselors there too, so that's very nice. And again, Friday, same thing, with lots of people here and everybody. It's due, it's been a long time coming, and even from when Claude Mailly started it, he tried so much, in so many ways and all this stuff, and thank you to you, this council here, to having brought forward, I guess, the correct agreement or correct way to doing it, and I lift my hat to you guys. Thank you.
thank you, Claude. All right, so now we have a resolution to adopt the confirmation bylaw. I need a mover and a seconder, Counselor Dave and Counselor Will. And
Be it resolved that bylaw 2024-08 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Municipality of French River at a meeting held on February 21st, 2024, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed.
all in favor? Good. And now I need a resolution to adjourn. Counselor Bob and Counselor Roger.
Be it resolved that the meeting be adjourned at 6:33 PM.
All in favor? Thank you very much, and